Listen, grief is hard. Grief is difficult. And I know so many times we wonder when we speak out loud, do they hear us? Well, I'm speaking with someone today that says, absolutely. It'll make sense later. What's up, everyone? I'm LaPorsche. Listen, I have always wanted to speak to a medium because I have so many questions like, does it ever stop? You know, when you're chilling with your boo thing, do you have to say, hey, I'm with my boo thing right now. Can you leave me alone? Well, I got the chance to speak to Dr. Lakara Foster, who is a medium and a minister. And it was riveting. I learned so much. And she is truly the real deal. And let's just say, my answer also spoke back to me. Take a look. So, Dr. Lakara Foster is a proud native of New Orleans, Louisiana. She currently stars in her own new YouTube show, The Gift, a web series that I find so interesting. I was watching a little bit of it earlier today. She's a minister, a spiritual teacher. She got multiple degrees, y'all. I'm saying. Okay, and I think that what you do is so interesting. I'm so happy to have you here today. Let's get right into it.
Yes.
Please tell me when you first realized that you were a medium.
Wow, that's such a great question. I think for me, it's one of the things that I've known my whole life, without necessarily having the vocabulary to put, to it. Even at 3 and 4 years old, I was very aware of the presence of spirit being around and near me. But, not until I was a little bit older that I realized like, okay, this is a thing and I need to find out what this thing is. So that happened around college or so.
Okay, so college.
Yes.
When you're going to sleep at night,
Yes.
right? How do you turn it off? Like, do you turn it off? Does it ever turn off? I've always wanted to know that.
It never turns off, but I always tell people it's kind of like it can be background noise, right? So if you're at home and the television is playing and you're not necessarily tuned into what's on the television, you just know that the television's on. And so that's pretty much how it works with this spiritual gift. It never turns off. It's always on. And, sometimes it wakes me up in the middle of the night or taps me on my shoulder in Walmart or wherever I am. So you just never know.
Because, I tell people all the time, I'm very spiritual, right? Not as much religious. I don't like arguing over the stuff that doesn't matter. But I'm very spiritual, and I always say that I feel like I can hear my ancestors speaking to me, like at nighttime, and specifically at night, or when I'm dreaming. I just feel like I just know it's the other side sending me different messages, and I can't always put it into words. Or when I'm speaking to someone, my friends, they hate this. Like, so they do this thing where they'll bring a guy around, right? And they
they want you to feel him out.
Yes, all the time. And never, whether guy, friend, job, they'll put me in all different types of situations, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, do you want to know the truth?
Exactly.
That's the first thing I ask, because I'm like, what you really asking? Because I'm blunt, and I'm just gonna tell you how it is. So What is it? I'm like, if you're asking if I think y'all gonna work, no.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? No, everything.
I just had that happen with one of my friends, and I was like, soon as she walked up with the guy, I was like, this ain't it. But I like to let them ask me what I think first. I don't just volunteer, but I was like, this ain't it.
My mentor told me a long time ago, Portia, always remember, it's not help unless they ask. Does your gift ever scare you? Because sometimes it puts me, the part of the gift that I'm tapped into puts me in very uncomfortable situations where if everyone else is lying to you, I have to decide, am I going to join the group of liars, or am I going to tell the truth? So does it ever scare you?
No, I can't say that it ever scares me. As I've gotten, I would say probably when I was a little younger, when I would kind of get the message to, I've been in restaurants where spirit would say, go and tell this person, I'm fine. And I would hear the spirit of the Father talking to this person. And I'm like, I don't know this lady. I don't know her story. I don't know how she's going to receive it. And so that would make me just a little bit uncomfortable. But now that I'm older, it's like, no, when spirit speaks, I listen.
Is there a limit on how many times someone can come through?
No, but I will say this. What I tell my clients is a lot of time when they come one time, I always tell them like, now you know your loved ones are present, right? Look for them in the butterfly, for them in the cardinal, look for them in the feather, because they're always going to try to be communicating with you. If you ask a question, they're going to find a way to answer you. And so I tell people, I believe all of us, can tap into the other side. And so, once you get with the medium and they kind of give you the instructions and demonstrate and provide the evidence that your loved ones are still here, with different messages that they will bring through, then you know that they're here. So there's not necessarily a limit, but a lot of times people come, one time is enough.
I always wonder if sometimes you all have to kind of say, hey, you have to stop coming. Like they want you to just go live your life, or if it's, how does that work when you know someone is in like so much pain,
So, what's so interesting is a lot of my work, I feel, I just feel like I'm called to help people who are grieving, right? And I'm actually working on a book. I'm almost finished this fourth book that really talks about the intersection of mediumship and grief, because a lot of people do get stuck in their grief. And so when they have a session with me, maybe they needed some closure from mother or closure from father, or, a sibling or whatever, or loved one. And so it's like when they hear from them, then it's kind of like something clicks. I had a woman visit me a couple of months ago, and her husband was coming through, and I'm giving her this information, and she, it's very clear that we're kind of hitting the signs and hitting the things. And then, but she's still kind of like, there's something more that she wants. So then I say, he wants me to bring up the black hat, right? And that was it for her. She said he always wore this black hat, and he died unexpectedly. And now she rides around with the black hat in her car. And she said, and I told him, if you don't bring up the black hat, I don't care what this woman says, like, I'm not going to believe it. And so even though we had covered so much, the black hat was the thing for her. And it was really the thing that helped her process her grief and just kind of moved out of that space of paralysis, if you will, to say, okay, you know what, maybe I can live now that he's gone.
Are you afraid of death?
I'm not, and I think the reason being is I would tell people what spirit makes me understand is that, death is a portal, right? It always say like, there's no such thing as, I tell people I don't talk to dead people, right? Because there's no such thing as dead. All we are energy. We're energy before we enter these bodies, while we're in them, and when we depart from them. And this gift allows me to be able to tap into that energy. So what I do know is that every single one of us is going to depart this physical body, right? At some time, whatever our sacred contract that we've agreed to that says this is when I'm coming and this is when I'm leaving, we're all going to depart these physical bodies. So I'm not afraid of leaving, this physical world, because I know that there is existence after this physical world.
Do you have to be near someone to deliver a message?
No, actually not. So I would probably say about 95% of my work is done online, pretty much like how we're doing right now. And some people do come, and I've had people fly in from California because they said, nope, I want to sit in your face and see what you got to say. And so, then sometimes people call on the phone. So it's just energy, it's just energy.
Watching your YouTube show
Yeah.
earlier today, I was like, I just know she has to be the real deal. And it was in the reaction. It was in the reactions of the people
Yeah.
that you went somewhere. Oh, this black girl with braids, and I think her father was coming through. You were talking about a triangle
Yeah.
around them, and I could see her face, and I was like, oh, I know she the real deal, because this woman is thinking to herself, how the hell? My bad, minister. Oh, my bad.
That's okay.
On me. Okay, God's still working on me. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
And so with that being said, since you are the truth, all right,
Yeah.
you know when someone else is being fraudulent.
I would say so, but I would say this much, right? As much as like I love the Long Island medium, like I love the Long Island medium. In my head, she's like a mentor of mine, right?
Yes.
And so when I would watch her show, what I would do is like she would meet with people, and I would pause, right? And then I would say, oh, like this person drowned. And then I'd hit play, and then she'd say, I'm feeling like this person drowned. Or I'd say like this person had a heart attack, and then I'd press play, and she said, I feel like the heart stopped or something. So for me, it's like my just watching her and tapping into my own gifts. I feel like she's the real deal, right? And
Okay.
so I would say for myself, I've never necessarily come across somebody who wasn't honest in their work. I feel like there's some spiritual repercussions if you aren't. Like, I wouldn't want to play with spirit like that. we can't hide these gifts anymore, right? It's really
Yeah.
time for us to emerge into whatever this gift or this talent or this thing is that the universe, God, whatever we want to, however we deem that name. It's time for us to emerge.
I love that. I always say the same thing. I'm always like, universe, God, whatever you want. All I know is
Yeah.
it's a higher power out there.
There's a higher power. Yes.
I'm always like, I don't, different religions call it different things, different
Yeah.
stuff. All I know is
Yeah.
that I know there's something else out
I
there.
know that's right. I know that's
feel it
right.
in my spirit. I feel it in everything that I do. And I'm like, I love when Cat Williams says, people who believe in the Big Bang Theory, can you bang on your Toyota and turn it into an Audi? That's what I'm always like, well, I've been banging on a lot of things. Right. So, girl, if you get any messages, please let me know. Okay.
Wow. Just wait until you see part 2. That's all I can say. It's been a very emotional week for me. That interview was super emotional for me, and you're gonna find out why. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow, girls.